Hello.
Hello, good evening. Sorry, I'm late.
No, that's fine. You are only a few seconds late, so not a problem at all. Are you well?
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I'm doing very well.
That's good. Okay, so I've got a couple of slideshows prepared for you today. But again, I just want to remind you that these lessons, it's your time. So if you feel like you don't want to do something, or if you feel like this exercise is not working for you, then you could just tell me and we can move on. Okay.
Yeah, I got.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share my screen with you, and then I'm going to take you to a couple of different things. I just want to run you through what I've added onto the Google Classroom as well, and what I will be adding onto the Google Classroom. So let me just quickly
Already,
which one
actually, I checked maybe 5 minutes ago, and nothing on Classroom. I mean,
yes,
all the
I haven't. I still need to post it. I've prepared it, but I thought I'd post it after the lesson. I didn't want you to think you had to do homework before the lessons.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I find the students always stress. Let me just quickly make sure I've got the right one. Okay, it's a student's book. So I'm just going to share the screen for a second.
Yeah.
Okay, can you see this book?
Yeah, I see.
Okay, so this is the book that we're going to be running through. This is the one that I've posted on that I will post on the Google Classroom. It's the business results book for the intermediate students. Then I also have the teacher's book, which has all the answers in, but we'll go through them together. And so basically what I wanted to just show you for today, or just for this first few minutes, is just the contents of the book, because it's got kind of an unusual breakdown. So it's broken down into 15 sections. You'll see it down here. And then each of the sections is broken down into this working with words, language at work, practically speaking, business communication, talking points. And each of them also has like a little starting point. So most of it is discussion and speaking. We'll also be doing some listening exercises, etc., but focusing on what you need. And then additionally, the other thing besides this book that we'll be running through, we're also going to be looking a little bit at CVs and CV compilation, sort of how to add that up, and that will eventually take us into interviews and how to prepare for that, etc. So we'll be doing a little bit of everything. I figured an hour and a half is quite a long lesson, so I don't want you to get bored. Okay, so I'm just going to stop this screen share and then open the other screen share. Just quickly figure out where I am. Okay, let's share this one with you now. Okay, so can you see this first page that I've got up?
Yeah, I saw.
Okay, great. Just tell me if it's unclear, because sometimes when I've got a few windows open and it's a little bit smaller, it becomes a little bit unclear on the audience side. So just tell me if that happens. That's obviously not what we want to happen. So you can just let me know if that happens. Okay, and if I'm going too fast, please just tell me, just be like, slow down, etc. Okay, so our first section is this business results. Like I said, we're working in the intermediate, and section 1 is based on working life. So the idea is that it just gives us general topics to speak about. But of course, the whole point of this is for you to speak. So it's lots of discussion. It's lots of time for you to practice your English, etc. Okay. Okay, so the learning objectives, like I explained, that book is broken down into the different sections, and each of them cover discussion, reading, listening, speaking, a little bit of grammar. I know you said you don't need to work on grammar too much, but I've just thrown a little bit of that in there, just like some simple stuff, but it's more based on speaking exercises. So I think it will still help. And then today we're also going to be looking a little bit at expressions. So how to sort of like, but I think you're fine with that, but it is quite an interesting one to cover regardless. Okay, so for our starting point, we're just going to have a discussion. So first of all, I do know some of this information about you, but what kind of business or organization do you work for?
Yeah, actually, I work for IT company, and I mean, the company sells software product, or maybe company get the requirement from the customer, like US UK customer, and hearing the requirement that what's the software they want to do, they want to develop, and we do it for the customer.
Okay. That's good. Look, for the most part, your sentence instruction, what I'll do is I'll critique you as we go along as well. I feel like being able to tell you what you're doing wrong or doing right is the only way to improve. But please don't take any of it personally. It is meant in kindness. But look, your sentence structure is not bad at all. But I think with some practice, we can definitely improve that as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So again, where do you spend most of your working day? At your desk, in meetings, somewhere else?
Yeah, I work as project manager position, and then most of the time I have conversation, meeting with the customer, and most of the time I work in the meeting room, and
Okay.
yeah. After that, after meeting with customer, I hearing about their pain point, their requirement, and I also make a meeting with my team and transfer all the understand information to my team, and my team gets a response, and I make sure that they understand, and the same thing with me. Team is the same page, and the meeting end. Yeah.
Okay, very good. So you're running around the whole day by the sounds of it. Okay, and then how much of your time spent in on working is your own? Are you working on your own, with colleagues, or with your clients? So you've told me now quite a bit about you working with your clients or with your colleagues, sorry, but how much of that time is spent with your clients?
Yeah, I don't count, but maybe 6 hours a day.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I have a conversation with colleague and clients also.
Okay, that's good. Okay, so our first little exercise, that we're gonna do is again just a discussion one and a speaking one, and then we'll listen to one another as well, and then a little bit later I'll play some clips for us too. Okay, so what kind of information do these places have about you and your job? So what does your company have a company website?
Yeah, of course.
And does it have any information about you on it?
Yeah, it have my information on that.
Okay, so what information does it have about you?
Yeah, actually, it's a simple introduce. Like I'm a manager of I'm a development head leader of yes.
Okay, so development leader.
Yeah.
Okay, and what about, do you have a personal web page?
Me or my company?
No, you personally. Do you have a personal web page?
Personal web page. Actually, I haven't got any personal web page.
That's fine. Neither do I.
Yeah.
What about social media? They speak about Facebook or LinkedIn is quite an important one for work. Do you have either of those?
Yeah. Of course, I have both. I work on. I'm a professional or project manager, and then LinkedIn is maybe a daily social network to communicate with other the same position. And also, I open my network to maybe have hopes in the future we have connection, and also open my network relationship.
Okay, yeah, got big dreams.
Yeah.
It's good. It's good. Okay, so the next one is we're going to do reading. So I'll let you read 2 of them, and then I'll read 2 of them. So it's both a reading and listening exercise. Okay, so I don't know, can you see these clearly enough? Can you read this Howard Bright one for me?
Yes, somewhat is blur, but I can read it. Yeah.
Can you read it?
Howard
Let me see if I can make it a little bit bigger.
Okay, I use my iPad, then it can zoom in more,
Okay.
and it's okay now. Yeah.
Okay.
Can I read?
Yes, please go ahead.
Okay, Howard Bright. I'm the director of Imbalance, which I set up in 1996. We offer high quality training services throughout the UK. I'm mainly in charge of planning and coordinating of our courses. I work with a team of full-time office staff and freelance trainers.
Okay, very good. Your reading is quite good. We can work a little bit on intonation. So intonation is sort of where you stress in a sentence, like where your pitch goes up versus where it goes down. But obviously, when you read something for the first time, sometimes our intonation isn't perfect anyway. So that's totally understandable. But a lot of people that struggle with learning languages, they often skip words, especially prepositions, that kind of thing, which you don't do at all. So that's great. So good job there. Okay, so from this, let's see a little bit what we understand from it. So what company does he work for? Or is he the director for in this case?
Yeah, he's the director of Imbalance.
Very good.
I think this is a company name. Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah, so the company name is Imbalance. Then we're asking what courses does it offer, which we haven't spoken about a little bit yet. He just speaks about the freelance trainer, so we'll get to that in a minute. Then the next question is, which of these people work full-time for the company? So do you think Howard's a full-time or part-time employee?
Yeah, he's worked as a full-time employee.
Definitely. If he's the director, then I'm pretty sure he must be full-time. Okay, and then just keep in mind, some of these that we'll read, some of them will be freelance, so keep an eye out for that or listen out for that. Okay, so I'll read the next one and then you listen, and then I'll get you to read the next one, etc. Okay, so Imran, I work as a trainer for Imbalance and run regular courses on using mobile technologies in marketing. I'm also a marketing consultant with my own agency. I specialize in online marketing, and a large part of my work involves developing marketing strategies for small to medium-sized business owners. Okay.
Yeah.
So what I want to point out there, what I did is you'll see I sort of stress certain things and you sort of try to make the sentence flow quite nicely. Okay.
Can I ask a question?
Yes, of course.
What's the words you pretend to stress on? I mean the verb or the nouns or maybe something like.
It sort of depends. It depends on the sentence. Oftentimes, but the whole point is sometimes when you read, a lot of people do this, but oftentimes if you read, it sounds like the sentence is ending before it should. So basically just not pausing too much, but it depends on the sentence. But I think practice will make this perfect. So what we'll do is we'll get you to read a couple of sentences and work on that a little bit. But out of what I've just read, again, he's obviously also working for Imbalance, as we've said. For this one, what is his job?
He's a trainer.
Very good. Okay, what else does he do?
And he's run a regular course.
Okay, so
he also is a marketing consultant.
Very good. Very good indeed. Okay, and he also has his own marketing agency, so that's also an important factor to note. So do you think he works part-time or full-time?
Yeah, I think he work part-time.
And why do you say that?
Because the first trainer is maybe full-time or part-time, and the second he's also he also has his own agency.
Very good. Okay, look, so understanding is definitely not an issue for you. You clearly understand what you are reading and what you are listening to. So that's great. And you pick up really quickly. So good job with that. Okay, I'm going to get you to read the next one. And what I'm going to ask you to do is to read it a little bit slower.
Okay.
Okay, so Tasia Clifford.
Tasia Clifford. I work part-time for Imbalance, and I'm responsible for running their course on employment law and healthy and safety. For the rest of the time, I'm a business lawyer with experience in the fields of employment law and health and safety. Most of my work consists of advising manager and business in these two areas. My clients come from a range of business and organizations.
That was much better, Hai, much better. So when you slow down, you definitely have a much better intonation. So you know where to put the stress. And I know I often speak way too fast as well. It's like my mouth and my brain are not connecting and they just run. So as soon as you slow down, as soon as you slow down a little bit, your intonation is much better. So I don't think that's something that you need to worry about. I think it's just something you need to be aware that when you speak and when you read, slow down a little bit. Take your time. Okay.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, I got it.
Okay, so this one, it's clear that she's obviously part-time. She also works for Imbalance. Let's ask, what else did we ask over here? Does it say anything about our training courses yet?
Training course.
What type of training courses does it provide? She spoke a little bit about that.
She's responsible for employment law and health and safety.
Very good. Very good indeed. I thought I might have distracted you too much by making you read too slowly, but you still caught on, so very good. Okay, and then last one, Faye. Okay, so I'll read this one again and then you can just listen. Okay, I work in customer services for Imbalance. As the customer service representative, I mainly deal with inquiries and bookings from a variety of clients ranging from multinational corporations to individual customers. Okay, so you'll see also I'm stressing, like if there's a comma, that's a clear place to pause. So like there is a little comma over here in between that sales representative. And then also when she's speaking about from multinational corporations to individual, you often have a little pause in between those two. Okay, but yeah, so I think we covered quite a bit of intonation in that one. But again, I think if you slow down, then you'll be absolutely fine. Okay, so again, do you think she's full-time or part-time?
Yeah, she's full-time, I think.
So I think so, yeah. Look, you can never be sure because she's not saying it directly, but for the most part, we can assume that the customer service person is full-time. Okay. She hasn't said anything, although a lot of people are part-time these days. You never know. But,
yeah, exactly.
But yeah, so her job is definitely full-time, even if she's not maybe the one doing it full-time. Okay, so we'll move on to the next one. Okay, so what I want you to do is these prepositions that I've got over here, which is with, for, in, as, and of, I want you to complete the sentences 1 to 8 using the correct preposition.
Yeah.
Okay, so basically I work with a large group of people. We make a great team. Okay, so you can try the next one.
Okay, I'm responsible for planning and budgeting.
Very good.
Yeah,
that's
my
perfect.
job consists of advising business and organization on employment law.
Very good.
No.
Yes, my job consists of. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Luckily, I'm not sure of my answer. But...
Not sure, but it is correct.
I'm in charge of coordinating sales team across the region.
Yes.
I'm in charge
I'm in charge of.
I'm in charge of.
The ofs are getting you, eh?
Yeah.
Okay. How about number 5? I specialize.
I'm specialized in workplace motivation.
Okay. I work
as a receptionist in a large multinational.
Very good. Number 7.
I work in the area of finance and accounting.
Very good. And then lastly, I deal
with.
Very good. Hi. Very good indeed. Well done.
Oh.
Okay, so you aced those. Those were excellent. Okay, so the next little exercise is then to work with your partner, which in this case is me. Okay, and I want you to tell me about your job using the above phrases. So tell me, I work for, and then you tell me, fill in your actual information.
Yeah. Yeah, I work with a group member.
I work for.
I work for IT company.
Very good.
And yeah, every day I work with my team to discuss about how to develop our software. And yes, I work as
How about
a
the next one? I'm responsible for.
I'm responsible for monitor and control some project status.
Very good. My job consists of.
My job consists of manage project status and checking engage with the customer.
Very good. Keep in mind also these, I thought these are quite nice ones. You're going to have to repeat these sentences 100 times if you're doing interviews as well. So these are good ones to practice.
Yeah.
Okay. So the next one, number 5, I specialize in.
I specialize in lead many people and lead them to get the best result, best their potential.
Very good. Very good. Okay. I work in.
I work in.
That one you can actually say, I work. Yes. Continue.
I work in the area of e-commerce and healthcare system.
Very good. Okay, let's just do the last one. I deal with
difficult problem in IT and also with a difficult customer.
Okay. That sounds very challenging. Indeed. Dealing with lots of difficult customers and then you can't even understand some of them. That must be very challenging.
Yeah.
Okay, so what I want to ask you as well is, so I've added this little last one in here, but I'm not going to expect you to do it, but it speaks about writing a profile about yourself and your job for the company website. So obviously I don't expect you to do that, but one of the things that we will do later on is obviously if we are preparing you for your Google interview, is you do obviously need to work on a CV. So I know you said the CV is not as important, but some of the aspects of dealing with the CV is stuff that directly goes into the interview. So do you have a CV at this stage?
Yeah.
Okay, so what I want you to do, I'm going to give you a homework task. Is to bring your CV to the next class, and then we can actually discuss it and sort of start to go through it and start to prep for that interview as well. So you'll see at the end of this class, the last half an hour, we'll actually discuss CVs. And then next week, we'll discuss writing CVs. So then we can have a look and analyze yours and see what it looks like. Okay. You can just make a note of that. Keep your CV handy. You can upload it or you can send it to me on the group or whichever way is easiest. But I think it'll be nice for us to be able to discuss that together. Because again, your CV directly relates to what's going to happen in your interview. Okay. So our next exercise is we're going to actually listen to a little exercise and then you're going to answer some questions. So just give me a second to find the audio file here.
Yeah.
Yeah, then you must just tell me if you can hear this. So just to give you some context, we're going to listen to a conversation between Emran and Veronique, and then we're going to answer the following questions. What is the course? What does Emran ask everyone to do? What kind of charity does Veronique work for? What is she responsible for? Where is she mainly based? And what is her reason for taking the course? Okay, so hopefully you can hear this audio now. Let's quickly see. Get it to open on my computer. Okay, it's a little bit slow. Can you hear that?
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to your first day.
It's so small. A little bit louder.
A little bit louder. Okay, I think you might need to turn the volume up on your side.
Maybe my side is a max up my
Is it
volume.
max? Okay. Let's see if I can turn it up here then. Okay, let's give it a go again.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to your first day of what I hope will be an interesting and useful course in online marketing.
Okay, so I'm going to pause it there for a second. Say again.
I'm not hear anything. Sorry.
You're not. Did you hear what he said?
No.
Not. Oh dear. Okay, so what I'm going to try and do is I'll try and play it in a different way. Maybe I can upload it to Zoom in a different way. Let me just quickly see where I am. Yeah. Can you hear it at all?
I can hear you, but audio is so.
Yeah, so it's playing through the computer audio. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to skip these for now. And then what I will do is next week when we do the listening exercises, or then I will just upload them onto the classroom and then you can access them directly from there. I think that will work better. Is that fine?
Can you try again? Yeah, it's okay, but can you try again? Actually, I not pay attention in last play.
That's fine. Okay, let me try playing it once more, and then I'm going to pause it after the first few sentences.
1.1.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to your first day of what I hope will be an interesting and useful course in online marketing. As you know.
Okay, did you hear that? Very good. Okay, cool. Okay, I'm great. I'm glad that you could hear that. I've got the volume max on my side here as well.
Thank you.
Okay, so the course is online marketing. The next question is, what does he ask everyone to do? So we'll listen.
Oh, my name's Emran Bhat, and I'm your trainer for the next 2 days. However, you don't know each other, so before we begin, I'd like everyone to give a short presentation about themselves. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so what does he ask them to do?
Yeah, he want everyone introduce source about themselves.
Okay, so to give a short presentation about themselves, which is the same. They're speaking about themselves. Okay, so next we need to listen to Veronica and what kind of charity does she work for and what is she responsible for? So I'm going to do two at a time now.
Yeah.
Veronique, you can go first.
Sure. Good morning, everyone. My name's Veronique Denvier, and I work for a medical charity. In my job, I often deal with fundraising projects and advertising campaigns.
Okay, so what type of charity does she work for?
Media charity.
Very good, medical charity. And what is she responsible for?
She is a support for fundraising.
Very good. Okay, so I'm going to back it up a little bit so we can just re-listen to that section of her.
Everyone, my name's Veronique Denvier, and I work for a medical charity. In my job, I often deal with fundraising projects and advertising campaigns.
Okay, so fundraising and advertising campaigns.
Yeah.
Okay, next, where is she mainly based and what is her reason for taking the course? So I'm going to carry on playing it.
So, for example, I'm currently running a campaign to raise over €1 million for a water project in Central Africa. I'm mainly based in Paris, though I'm living and working in London for 3 months.
So why are you taking this course today?
Well, my organization usually advertises in traditional media, such as newspapers and TV. That means most of our sponsors tend to be older people. But these days, more and more people are reading text and watching video online. So we aren't reaching a large part of the population. My problem is that I don't know enough about online marketing and I need to learn about it quickly. So that's why I'm doing this course.
Great. Yes.
Okay, so that was a lot.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
so can you remember where she was mainly based?
Yeah, I heard that the project is mainly Central Africa, but she based on France, maybe.
Yes, in Paris. Yes, very good.
Yeah, Paris.
Yes, and she also says she's often in London. Okay, and then what is her reason for taking the course?
Yeah, actually, her company marketing by the traditional way and like magazine. Yeah, but nowadays people often reading text, see video, and yeah, also her company want to try to expand more population, and then but she don't know about the online marketing, and then she's joined this course to learn about it.
That was great. That was very good. Hi. You listened almost better than I did. And I listened to it beforehand as well. That was a lot of information, but you definitely caught it all. And I think what's nice about these is it's really challenging because there's a whole bunch of different accents that are coming to play. So it really challenges us to listen carefully and to take in different contexts, which for you, obviously, that would be very important if you're working for a multinational or multi-global company like Google, as well as all your current different customers with lots of different accents. Okay, so good job there. Okay, so we're going to work a little bit on tense then. It's just the next one. So much like the other exercise that we did previously, I basically want you're not going to underline it. We're just going to say which one is right and which one is wrong. But basically, you need to decide which of the adverbs in brackets and which of the italics are correct. So for example, what do you work on? Or is it what are you working on? Which is correct there?
What do you work on?
Or is it what are you working on?
What are you working on?
Very good. Okay, so these are a little bit challenging, but if we repeat the sentence clearly, then I think it makes sense. Okay, we have offices in over 20 countries, or we are having offices in over 20 countries.
I think we have office in over 20 countries.
Great job. Okay, more and more of our customers order our goods online, or is it more and more of our customers are ordering our goods online or order our goods online?
I think customer order our goods online.
Yes, very good. So more and more of our customers order our goods online. Okay, I'm responsible for everyone else's travel arrangements, or I'm being responsible for everyone else's travel arrangements.
I'm responsible for everyone else's travel arrangement.
Very good. Okay, we don't do any business in Brazil until we can all speak Portuguese, or we aren't doing any business in Brazil until we can all speak Portuguese.
I think we don't do any business in Brazil until we can all speak Portuguese.
Okay, so this is actually a tough one, and it could almost have gone either way, but the correct one is going to be we aren't doing any business, just because it is present what we are presently doing. Okay. Okay, but that one's very close, so don't feel bad at all. Okay, overall, the economic climate is improving, or just the economic climate improves?
Overall, economic climate is improving.
Great job. Very good. Very good. Okay. My company tries to increase its trade to China, or my company is trying to increase its trade to China?
I think my company is trying to increase its trade in China.
Very good. These are hard. I even have to read carefully. So good job. Okay. I do this course, or I am doing this course.
I do this course because I don't understand Excel software.
Okay. I'm doing this course.
Because, yeah,
Okay, so the I do, we don't say I do, we say I am doing or I'm
Oh.
doing. Yes. Okay, so you must remember to add that little preposition in. That again is quite a tough one. Okay, and this one's got a double one. So it's I'm doing this course because I don't understand Excel software, or is it I'm doing this course because I'm not understanding Excel software?
I think I don't understand.
Great. Very good. You do understand. Okay, so do you give or are you giving presentations in your job?
Do you give presentation in your job?
Good job.
Yeah.
Okay, so if it's a question, then you start with obviously with the verb. Okay, so good job there. Okay, so we're going to have another listening exercise. So I know these are tough, but bear with me. They are very good practice. Okay, so first of all, the question is, well, this one, it's about practical speaking. So our expressions and how we listen. So like I spoke about when we're speaking, our intonation is important when we're saying a sentence. So basically, where am I stressing? Same principle applies to now our body language. Okay, so this one is speaks a little bit about intonation. So where they're stressing in the sentence. So like what is important in the sentence. And then the other section is we'll speak about like our actual facial expressions and stuff that goes with that. Okay, because especially these days when we're online, it's actually really important to focus on our intonation because it's a good way to get our message across and to help people understand us versus just reading words in a monotone way. Okay, so when you listen to somebody, how can you show interest?
When I listen to someone, I think it's some rhythm and some pitch. I mean, also some to the volume.
Definitely. Anything else?
Yeah, I don't know, but like you play piano, it have a high and low, and also the fast and the slow is it makes it not
Definitely.
boring, not boring, and I feel have rhythm, and I so feel have interesting.
Very good, very good. Yeah, that's a clever annotation that you use there, or comparison that you use there to say comparing it to playing piano, because it is like that. If I just speak in a boring voice like this, you don't want to take my classes. Okay, so but if I speak interestingly, and the other thing is body language. If I use body language and show interest, that's also an important one. So if I keep looking down and like avoid eye contact and I'm like this, it's weird. And especially when it comes to interviews, this is important, and it's important to show that especially when we're digital, because I'm assuming your interview with Google will be digital unless you're actually going to go there. Yeah, so most of the stuff is digital, so to be able to bring body language across on a tiny little screen is important. So it's something we need to focus on too. Okay, so let me bring up the next little audio clip. Where did I put this now? I have 100 tabs open here for all the different things that we're busy doing. Okay, so before I open it, again, we're going to be listening to Veronique and Joel as well. And then we're going to match the sentences to represent the bottoms. So basically, we'll just listen to them. They're not too difficult. But the sentences are, but at the moment, I'm doing a lot of work in the USA. It's a project for pharmaceutical company, and this one gives money to charities and nonprofit organizations. And then we're going to match that with their responses. So is that right? My company works for pharmaceutical company too. Really? How often do you travel there? And that sounds interesting. That would be a good, it would be good to keep in contact. So what I want you to focus on is their responses to one another. Okay, so we can play these more than once if we need to.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you're Veronique?
That's right. And you're Joel. Where are you based?
I'm a freelance consultant, so I work from my home in Bruges. But at the moment, I'm doing a lot of work in the USA.
Really? How often do you travel there?
Okay, I'm going to pause there for a second. Okay, so he said at the moment he's doing a lot of work in the USA. What was Veronique's response?
Yeah, really? How often do you travel there?
Very good. Okay. So, and you see what I'm focusing on there is she goes, really? So you can almost
Yeah.
imagine her body language is like doing this as well. Okay.
Right.
So you can tell her expression from the way that she uses intonation, the way where she goes higher. Really? Okay.
Yeah.
So almost shock.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's listen to the next one.
I probably about once a month. It's a project for a pharmaceutical company.
Ah, is that right? My company works with pharmaceutical companies too.
Okay, and we'll pause there. Okay, so it's a
Yeah.
project for a pharmaceutical company. What was the response?
Is that right? My company works with pharmaceutical companies too.
Very good. And good annotation there. Is that right? Well done. Okay, and then the last one.
We're usually looking for sponsorship from the projects we run.
Yes, well, this one gives money to charities and non-profit organizations.
That sounds interesting. It would be good to keep in contact.
Okay, so this one gives money to charities and non-profit organizations.
That sounds interesting. It would be good to keep in contact.
Very good, hi. And lovely annotation there again. That sounds interesting. And I could see the body language too, so very good.
Yeah, that's so interesting.
Okay, so the expressions in bold, the ones that we just did, A, B, and C, is that right? Really? That sounds interesting. This shows the speaker's interest. So again, like I said, these are really important things, and sometimes they're overlooked, especially when you're learning an additional language. It seems less important to focus on stuff like this than it is to actually just understand and get your message across. But the way we say something is how we're going to get our message across. So if we don't say it correctly, grammar is one thing, but if you are stressing at the wrong points, or if you are just speaking in a monotone voice, then you are not going to win anything.
Yeah.
Okay, so the way we say something is really important, as well as, like I said, the physical body language that goes along with that. But especially in a digital environment, we need to stress how we are saying it even more so, because oftentimes we don't even have video on. So then you really, to tell people's intentions and to understand what they are really meaning, then the way you say something is really important.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
So the question over there is, so listen to the annotation and repeat the expressions, which we already did. You read those sentences and your annotation was perfect with them. So well done for that. Okay. Okay, so the other technique, which other technique does the speaker use in 2A to C, which is these over here at the top, to show more interesting? So basically what I want you to tell me is when she says, is that right? My company works with pharmaceutical companies too. Is that suggesting to keep in contact? Is that finding a connection, or is that asking a question?
Yeah.
Is that right? My company works in pharmaceutical companies too.
It's a finding connection. It's the same.
Very good. It took me a second with that one as well. That's definitely the hardest one. If there's a question, it's easy because there's a question mark. And keeping in context is also quite an easy one. But yes, finding a connection is a really important way to build rapport with people and to have better contact with them and to get them. It makes you, number one, it makes you a likable person. It helps them to understand what you're saying, to understand where you're coming from, etc. Okay, so the next one is then, let's see, really, how often do you travel there? Which one is that? Out of these three?
Question.
Very good. That one's easy. Okay.
Yeah.
And then lastly, that sounds interesting. It would be great to keep in contact. Which one is that?
Yeah. Suggesting keeping contact.
Okay, very good. Okay, so these these points, the suggesting to keep in contact, finding a connection or asking a question is a good way to build up rapport with your clients or with an interviewer, etc. So obviously you're not going to ask your interviewer for their phone number, but do it in a professional way, of course. It's a good way to find a connection, to make them think about you a little bit later and be like, hey, that guy stood out. So same principle with your clients. Okay. So again, with your partner, which is again me, since we are doing one-on-one classes.
Yeah.
Okay. You'll write 5 sentences, but we're just going to discuss them. So 5 sentences about your working life, and then basically take turns. So it's basically just going to be you. And then what I want you to do is, so you tell me about your working life and I'll tell you a little bit about mine. And the whole idea is to role play a conversation about what we do and how to make connection with one another. Okay. So if I tell you I'm an online English teacher, what could you ask me, or how could you create a connection with me?
Yeah. What do you do in a regular basis?
What do I do on a regular basis? Well, as I've said, I'm an online English teacher.
Yeah. Really? I really like English.
That's wonderful. Hi.
But
Okay, that's great. Another thing you could have said is, really, I'm an online English student.
yeah.
Okay. Okay, so let's try a different one. Let's try, so that was finding a connection. So finding something in common, something that we can share about. Okay, so let's do one where we try to ask a question. Okay, so I'll say, I'm also an interior architect.
So sorry, I can't hear you.
My profession is I'm an interior architect.
What architect? Sorry, I can get that word.
Interior.
Interior mean, what does it mean?
Means inside your home. So I'm a designer.
Interior.
Okay, so if I tell you I'm an interior architect or I'm an interior designer, how could you ask a question to sound interested?
Really? Actually, I have a plan to build my new house.
That's excellent. That's very good. Okay, so basically the idea is just to find common ground again, and then the point is we don't want the conversation to die. So we want to keep the conversation going. So whether that is through asking a question or suggesting to keep in contact, asking for a business card or for a business contact, or however that may be, but I think you have that down. Okay.
Yeah.
And especially for interviews, that you can get those awkward silences, which are not fun. And then with your customers too, you don't want awkward silences. That's not great for anybody. Okay.
Can we continue the last conversation? I mean, really, I have planned build a new house, and I think I have much thing to do to build a beautiful home. And can you help me to find new thing in my home?
Yes, definitely. Hi, that sounds wonderful. I will send you my business contact. Okay, so something like that. But yes, that's very good. So finding connection, building that rapport, not letting the conversation die.
Yeah, I got it.
Okay, so we're going to carry on. Yeah, so our last little section here is our business communication, our listening and speaking. And then, like I said, after this section, we'll do something different. We'll go into the CVs then, just so we don't do the same thing for an hour and a half and you sick of my voice. Okay, so we're going to discuss these first. Again, I'm your partner. So these 3 questions. Do you ever attend any networking events at work?
Yeah, of course, as a project manager, and I always want to expand my relationship with someone can help me in the future, like the senior project manager, also the director, and I often go to the project manager club and join with the seminar to discuss about how to manage, how to control the project to the success.
Okay, so networking is very important for you, and so are networking in events. So you have discussed question 1 and 2 already. So you have attended, and yes, they're very important for your job to make sure that you are constantly improving. So that's very good.
Yeah.
What other situations do you need to network with people?
Yeah, I mean, in daily life, we are always we not live alone. I mean, maybe you can choose make conversation and make friend with your neighbor, and to maybe in the future there can help you made very much. I think like the move to another, like maybe the build new house, maybe yeah, in some difficult situation you need someone to help you to maybe you sick, or maybe you urgent situation, and definitely you need a neighbor to help you.
Very good. There's a saying, a man is not an island, meaning we're not meant to be alone. We are meant to socialize. We are meant to have friends and family and different contacts. And again, like you say, especially if there's emergency, if you're sick or something like that, and you need somebody to help you. So networking is an everyday thing, whether you are social or antisocial, you still have to network. Okay, so we're going to do another listening exercise. This is the last one. And this one is basically, so it's the Culham Health Trust is holding an event for its key personnel, staff, and fundraisers. Listen to the extracts from 2 different conversations. Write notes about the jobs and responsibilities of these people. Okay, so you don't have to write notes, you can just listen. But these people, so Luke, Joe, and Walter, as we go through, I'll pause it as we're going through again so that we don't have too much information at once, but try to take note of what their jobs are and what their responsibilities are.
Yeah, I got it.
So let me quickly find this.
1.4. 1. Hi, Luke.
Hi, Hannah.
Luke, I want you to meet Joe Johansson. Joe is from the Bloomfield Foundation. Joe, this is Luke Akeli, one of our area managers. Nice to meet you, Luke.
Nice to meet you too. So tell me, what do you do at the Bloomfield Foundation?
Well, I deal with fund applications.
That's interesting. I sometimes have to apply for funding.
What do you do exactly?
Well, I'm in charge of our sub-Saharan Africa operations.
Okay, I'm going to pause it there because it is quite a lot of information. Okay, could you figure out what Luke does? Something about sub-Saharan, yes.
In South Africa, yeah.
Yes, in Southern Africa. Okay, so let me quickly just pull this up over here. Okay, so I'm going to get us to listen to that one again because it is quite a complicated one. And then we will see if we can answer those questions. Let's focus on what does Joe do first. Okay.
Hi, Luke.
Hi, Hannah.
Luke, I want you to meet Joe Johansson. Joe is from the Bloomfield Foundation.
Okay, so where's Joe from?
Joe from Africa? No.
No, we'll listen again.
Hi, Luke.
Hi, Hannah.
Luke, I want you to meet Joe Johansson. Joe is from the Bloomfield Foundation. Joe.
Okay, so Joe is from the Bloomfield Foundation. Did you hear that part? Okay,
yeah.
It's a tough one. There's a lot going on and there's background noise, which unfortunately, when we're doing things and when we are networking, there's always background noise. So we have to learn to sort of like push that out. Okay, so let's listen to the next little part.
This is Luke Akeli, one of our area managers.
Okay, so what does Luke do?
Area manager.
Very good. He's one of the area managers. Okay, we'll keep listening.
Nice to meet you, Luke.
Nice to meet you too. So tell me, what do you do at the Bloomfield Foundation?
Okay, so listen to this part because Joe's going to tell Luke what her responsibilities are.
Well, I deal with fund applications.
That's interesting.
Okay, so what does she deal with?
I deal with fund application.
Very good. I know these are hard. There's a lot going on as well, which make them complicated. But that was very good.
I sometimes have to apply for funding.
Okay, so he just said he also sometimes has to apply for funding.
Mhm.
Really? What do you do exactly?
Well, I'm in charge of our sub-Saharan Africa operations.
Okay, so that was the question you already asked. He's in charge of the sub-Saharan African locations. Okay, so
don't
we
know the
got that
word.
one.
Sorry, I don't know the word sub-Saharan.
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 Sub-Saharan, yes. So that's so like
Can
in
you
the
tell-
Sahara in Africa.
The name of the city or maybe the location.
Yes, it's a location, sub-Saharan. Okay, what I'm going
Uh-huh.
to do is I've got the little answers over here. I'm just going to drag them into, can you see what I'm dragging into the page here? It's this over
No.
here, sub-Saharan operations. So that's the spelling. Can you see that?
No.
Okay. What I will do is, do you have the WhatsApp group there? Otherwise, what I'll do is I'll just type it on Zoom quickly for you so that you can actually see it. Let's see. Where's my chat here? Okay, so to everyone. Okay, so it's going to be sub. Let me see if I can quickly copy this. Okay. Okay, so sub-Saharan, you see that?
Sub-Saharan. Yeah,
Yes.
I saw.
Okay. Okay, great. Okay, so the next one is Walter Mayer. So Walter Mayer has not come into the conversation yet, but he will come into the conversation. So listen carefully what his job is and what his responsibilities are. So we've done the first two, it's just Walter Mayer left. Okay.
Yeah.
Sub-Saharan Africa.
Yes, I oversee projects and make sure that the money is well spent. So I report to our main sponsors.
I see. So how much time do you spend in the field?
Well, I usually do 5 or 6 trips a year, sometimes more.
Wow, that's a lot of time away from home.
Ah. Well, I'm afraid I have to go now, Joe, but it was very nice to meet you.
Yes, it was nice meeting you too. The work you were doing was fascinating.
Well, I'd like to keep in contact. Do you have a card?
Sure. Here you are.
And here's
Goodbye.
mine.
Okay, so that's the end of the conversation with Luke and Joe. So next we're going to listen out for Walter.
2. Can I join you?
Sure, have a seat.
Thanks. Let me introduce myself. I'm Hiroko Watanabe from head office.
Well, I'm delighted to meet you, Ms. Watanabe. My name's Dr. Walter Meyer, but please call me Walter.
I'm very pleased to meet you too, Walter. I see from your badge that you're with FPR Pharmaceuticals.
Yes, that's right. Here's my card.
Okay, so we just heard where he's from. Did you hear that? FPR Pharmaceuticals.
I can guess. I can guess.
Okay, so listen carefully now for the next while. He's going to start speaking about where he works and what he has to handle.
Yeah.
I'm responsible for the medical donations program.
Okay, so he just said what he's responsible for. Did you hear that part?
Medical
Donations program. It's a mouthful. Okay, so he is responsible for the medical donations program. Okay, so listen
Yeah.
carefully now for what he what else he does.
I handle all the intergovernment work.
Okay, so he
Oh,
handles,
handle all the intergovernment.
very good, yes, all the intergovernment work. Okay, and then lastly,
That sounds very rewarding, knowing that you're helping so many people.
Yes, it is. Although it involves a lot of negotiation, which can be quite slow.
Yeah.
okay, so what else does it involve?
Involve all the conversation with
No, no, no. Yes, lots of negotiation.
Negotiation.
Yes, it's difficult. It's hard to listen. What I'll do is I'll upload these clips onto our Google Classroom as well. And you can re-listen to them because it's challenging listening to different accents with background noise and with lots of things going on. So then I'll upload these notes as well. You can take some time on your own and also just re-listen to them if you have time. Otherwise, you don't have to. It's up to you. Okay.
Yeah.
But it's a good exercise to do, and it's a good exercise to to practice. Okay, so based on that one, I'm going to skip this one for now because otherwise we're not going to have enough time for our last bit. Then I'm going to spend some time on this last little working exercise. So I think it's more important for us to focus on the speaking for now. Okay, so with your partner again, okay, you're going to practice networking conversation with your own jobs and responsibilities using this flow chart. So this flow chart's quite a nice one to use, especially if you're doing interviews as well. It's just an easy one, and make sure that you sort of like continue the conversation naturally. Okay, so you first off, you start to introduce yourself. So to be, hello, I'm Alicia. Exchange greetings. So hello back and forth. How are you, etc. Ask about any personal details. So like I said, how are you? Depends also on the person and how well you know them. You're not going to ask your interviewer, do they have any children, or how is their dog, or something personal. Okay, it's irrelevant. Okay, so you just ask them how they are, and you maybe comment on the weather or something like that, something professional. Okay, you agree to keep in contact after the conversation, and then that's the end. Okay, so we're going to do a little role play again. So what I want you to do is you can start off with introducing yourself.
Yeah. Hi, nice to meet you. I'm Hai. Come from Vietnam.
Very nice to meet you. Hi. It's a lovely day we're having today. How's the weather on your side?
Yeah, actually, it's raining outside. And how about you?
It's raining here too.
Oh,
It really is. Yes, it really is raining today. It's been very cold. Okay.
Oh.
So we already did the exchanging greetings. We asked about some personal details. And then for us, we could say we'll keep in contact with the rest of this lesson, as well as keeping in contact with our next lesson, our follow-up next lesson on, on when are we? On Wednesday. So, and then that would be the end of our conversation. So the whole point of this is just to converse, but let's pretend I'm your interviewer. Let's give that a try. Okay, so we're going to do this exercise quite a few times because I think it's an important one to practice. And that way we sort of over the weeks, we can cover the different scenarios as well. And we cover all bases that you don't get surprised when you go into your interview. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm your interviewer. I'm sitting there very serious with my book. I've got your CV in front of me and I'm looking at all your fancy credentials. And then I'm saying, okay, we have Mr. Hai. Is that correct?
Yeah,
Hello,
exactly.
Mr. Hai. Would you like to tell us about yourself?
Yeah, I'm Hai. My full name is Nguyen Van Hai. I'm come from Vietnam, and yeah, I work I'm working as a project manager in an IT company in Vietnam.
Very good, Hai. I see. Yeah, you have been working there for how long?
Yeah, I work for maybe 10 years.
Wow. So you were a very loyal employee.
Yeah, maybe I
Very
guess.
good. Very good. Okay. And then obviously they'd ask you 110 different questions, which we will cover a little bit later. But the point is to start to get comfortable and exchange these greetings and just naturally be able to answer, which you seem pretty capable of as is. So I don't think you need to stress about that too much. but we will
Mhm.
continue to practice these as the weeks go along. But this is a nice little flow chart for these conversations.
Mhm.
Okay. And that's it for this section, not all for today, just for just for this little section. So I'm going to open up another slideshow. So I'm just going to stop the screen share for a minute, and then we'll discuss CVs a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay. You must tell me if you need to just take a break or stretch your legs or anything.
Yeah.
That's also fine.
I'm okay.
Okay, you're fine. We can carry on. Okay.
Yeah.
Just give me a minute to open this. Like I said, I have 100 tabs open here because we were doing so much today. Introduction. Okay. Move you back to this side. Move this up, yeah. Okay. Okay. So I've got this little slideshow open here. Okay, so this is directly from Impactus as well. So it's really well laid out and it covers a lot. So this is a series of 5 different ones that will cover one each week. They're not too long, so which is why I've left about, see, we've got about 20 minutes left to cover some of it. And I know, so the first one covers CV introduction. And then next week, like I said, we'll discuss a little bit about CV writing, which is when you need to bring your CV to class.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so our CV introduction. Okay, so this we can just ignore. That's for a big class. Okay, so the whole point of this is to be able to understand CV structure and how to make a CV, as well as to customize it for a specific job. So this is really important. Even if you are, every different job that you are doing, it will be customized for that. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so the definition of a CV, we don't really need to cover that too much, but the important part is it's a marketing tool as a first impression, and that's really important. It's the first thing that they see from you. It's the first thing the first impression that you make. So you can be incredibly charming, but if your CV is boring and it just gives facts, then they maybe might overlook you. So a CV is today's digital, other than a Facebook page or something like that, it's the formal version of that. It's to see people, number one, are you qualified? But also, are you going to take chances? Are you going to be a good employee? Are you going to be loyal? That kind of thing. So the fact that yours says you worked for the same company for 10 years, that's an amazing thing to have on your CV, besides all your skills. Okay, and then obviously it is, it gives a detailed snapshot of your professional as well as your academic life. So any qualifications you have, as well as all your experience, and then it's your ticket into a job interview, which is ultimately what we want. Okay, so to get to the next step. Okay, so we covered this a bit. Okay. Okay, so it's common for it to be tailored to a specific job or the company that you're applying to. And the idea is that you need to represent the best qualified candidate. Okay.
Sorry, I haven't seen
Yes.
your screen. Yes.
You can't see my
Are you
screen.
sharing? Yeah.
Yes.
Are you sharing?
Yes, I am
no.
sharing. Let me quickly see.
My screen is so freezing. I mean.
Okay, I was about to say, because it's definitely showing on my side. You are in the green window, yeah. But what I'll do is I'll stop sharing and then I'll reshare it again.
Oh, yeah.
Where am I now? Oh dear, I think I just closed it now as well. Okay, give me a second just to quickly have it.
Yeah, it's okay.
Okay. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually open it up in the PowerPoint. It might be a little bit easier. Just give it a second. Okay, but the whole point of a CV is really, it's like I say, it's what gets your foot in the door and it forces people to look at you and take you seriously. So it's a very nice one to focus on. Okay, getting this open now. Oh, computer's slow today.
About the CV, I think a different job has a different template for the CV.
Definitely. Definitely. And I'll show you that in a minute too. Okay, let me just make this a little bit bigger. Okay. Where am I now? Okay, let's try this screen share now.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, can you see this one?
Starting share screen. That is screen. That's my screen. So that Alisa is starting share screen and it's group. It
Is it being a bit slow on your side?
yeah.
Okay, well, for
Duet.
now for now we can just discuss it. And then I'll send it to you as well so that you have it. And then you can look at it there. But for the most part, it's just a discussion about the CV and about what we want your CV to look like eventually. Stop the share again. Let's try this one. So what I'm going to do, I'm actually just going to share my whole screen and see if that works better. Can you see my desktop?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, you can see my desktop. Okay, so then what
Yeah.
I'm going to do is I'm just going to open up, where is it? This one. Okay, make this nice and big. And I'll put us here in the corner.
Yeah.
Okay, so you can see that. Okay, so ignore all the clutter around it then. Okay, so again, the whole point is just tailor it for every specific job that you want, and you need to sort of represent yourself as the best qualified candidate. And then again, it's the whole point of us discussing the CV is that the CV is sort of your script that you use when you actually do the interview. So everything that you have in your CV, they will question you about. So they will ask you, what is your experience? What is your qualifications? Where have you worked the last 10 years? Or what have you been doing with your life, etc. Okay, so okay, a little difference between the two. We often speak about a CV as well as a resume. So a CV is the long one, the very, very long one with all your work experience, and it can be, there's no like length limit, whereas a resume is like a quick, short one that sort of summarizes what you're doing. So it's nice to have both because oftentimes they do require both. Okay, so just keep that in mind. That's the most sort of important for those two. And then the other one that becomes really interesting in today's age, I don't know if Google's going to request this, but is not just a written traditional CV, but also maybe a video CV. Do you think they would want to do something like that?
I don't know. In my area, I think people often use the like file like document file.
Okay.
It's not
really the videos.
Yeah, I think.
Okay. Well, it's good to just prepare for it, because if they do ask you, then you don't, because it's scary sometimes making a video of yourself. You have to make sure that you are well spoken. So a video one is not fun to do, but it is actually a very useful tool as well. So oftentimes you can just summarize who you are and what you do, what your qualifications are, your experience, etc. But again, you basically use everything that you say in your CV, you just summarize, and same principle as for the interview, you will then use that in the video. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, the other types of thing is, I don't know, in your line of work, would you have any form of portfolio? I don't.
Yeah.
Would you? So of the different types of jobs that you've done, etc., do you think you would include something like that?
Maybe portfolio is some kind of collection of your work, and maybe
yes. So literally examples of what you've done. Yes. So you show your best stuff. So that's also a nice one to do. And this kind of stuff does take long to put together as well. Okay.
Designer,
then a couple of
maybe. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, designer designer or maybe architecture like you
Oh, definitely. Lots
have
of
portfolio.
portfolio stuff, yes.
Yeah.
Lots of pictures, because we actually have pictures of our work too, which is nice. But also web designers, that kind of stuff, they'll have sample web pages and stuff like that. So well, IT, you could possibly have something like that. I don't know. Not my field of expertise, but it's a good one to be aware of. Okay, so this is an example of a resume. And then the other thing that they always ask for is a cover letter. So a cover letter sort of tells them why you want the job, why you would be best for the job, and sort of what you're going to bring to the company. So that's another kind of thing to start to think about. So let's role play a little bit. If you had to verbally do a cover letter for Google, what would you say?
Yeah, brief information about me, and ideally my Google developer in maybe Googler is my dream. Maybe in 10 years, and I really want to join Google. And if you hire me, you have quick receive my positive impact in your organization, also in my team that I responsible for.
Okay,
Yeah,
that's good. One thing that I can critique is never say if you hire me, say when you hire me. Be confident. Be like, I am confident. So
yeah.
it's cheeky, but it's a nice way to like get them to show that you really believe in yourself. Because if you don't believe in yourself, how are they meant to believe in you?
Yeah, exactly.
So it is an important one. But yeah, so having that confidence, you're not arrogant about it. You still telling them how you can help them and how you're going to be a benefit to their company. And it's very nice to add a personal touch. Like you say, it's been my dream for 10 years. That's a brilliant thing to add in. So it's a very nice thing to add into a cover letter as well. So I would definitely start looking at that and constructing that. Okay, but then we spoke about the different types of ones. So this is a kind of a simple, a little bit boring, but it's not a bad one, just a simple one with bullet points. It's having your education, your experience, as well as different leadership activities, which these I'm assuming will be a lot for you as a project and a team manager. You will have lots of leadership examples, yeah. And then just some different skills and interests. So the other thing you can say, yeah, is that you speak multiple languages, which is you're not just bilingual, you are multilingual, which is a great thing to have as well.
Yeah.
Okay, a different kind of one that looks completely different. This one is for a graphic designer. So it almost looks like an old newspaper article. So again, you sort of have to make it look, it needs to look like the job that you want. So in your case, it'll be very professional, but also be quite technical and have some interesting things with it. This is a nice version. This is actually not really a CV. This is more resume. So this is that like compressed summary version, which is a really nice one to show. Yeah, it shows the skills that she has, it shows the different languages that she speaks, her education, her experience, and then obviously all her contact information. So that's a nice one as well. Okay. And then lastly, we spoke about the portfolio. Like I said, I don't think that's too relevant for you, but it's just a good one to just be aware of. Okay, so yes, a couple of digital portfolios, which maybe that would be relevant to you. You can possibly show them a lot of the different type of work. A lot of times companies these days, they want you to prove yourself, that you are not just giving them what you've done, but they want you to prove what you can do for them. So having these types of digital portfolios is a very nice route to go. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, then some of the tools for making CVs. You say you already have a CV. What's do you have it in Word or in PowerPoint, or how have you made yours?
I have Word one.
In Word. Okay, so Word's obviously it's obviously a very easy way to do it. What I can recommend is, so these are the simple ones. You also have open offers. So those are the free online programs like Word or PowerPoint. But Word is like the simple one. So you have all your information there. It can be neatly put out. The next one, and the one that I really highly recommend, is Canva. Canva is a great
Oh.
tool. I personally use it. There's also a whole bunch of other different ones. Canva is an incredible tool though. So I actually use it to create all my presentations, as well as a lot of my design work I do in there. And it's just a very easy, like it gives you a lot of information and it makes it look really nice and very professional without having to actually work too hard.
Oh,
So that
yeah,
is a
yeah.
nice one, yeah. And for the basic stuff, you can use the free version, which is great. So
Oh.
it's something to consider.
Yeah,
Okay.
I
As
know
well as all
Canva
of
is
these,
a
yeah.
famous tool for the designer or maybe architecture, but in my field, I actually
You want to keep it more simple.
haven't
Okay.
used it. Yeah.
Look, you will know best. You are the expert in this field. So I'm just giving you the options. Okay, then a
Yeah.
couple of the different ways that you can upload it.
Mhm.
Okay. Then quite importantly, preparing before you write your CV. So you said you've already done this. So it'll be interesting to see now, have you done your CV specifically for Google?
Yeah.
Okay. So then I want to ask you these questions. So if you can tell me if you've covered these in your CV, and then we can look at them next week together. Okay, so the purpose is obviously to personalize the documents and the applications. It helps them determine whether the company and the job fits you, and it also helps you to better prepare for the interview. So like I keep saying, the CV is basically the script for the interview. So it's important to work on both. But basically how to search. So you visit the company website, which you have obviously done. You browse their social media, LinkedIn, use Google and Google News. In your case, that's extra relevant because it is literally for Google. You tap any connection. So anybody that you know that might be there, you get any industry or get to know the industry and the competitors. So do you think you've covered any of that?
Yeah, almost. Actually, I go to the LinkedIn to search all my connection on the
That's
outside
very good.
Google
That's very
recruiter.
good, yeah.
Maybe the person that work the same position in the Google, and I make the friend with them and try to contact.
Very good. That's
and
excellent.
Also, I go to YouTube and I search about how to write a CV for the Google. Yeah,
Very
I
good.
learned all the experience from the ex-Googler, and
Okay.
they told me many tips to write the correct the resume on. So how to
For Google.
impress the recruiter. Yeah.
Okay, so you've done your research, you've done your homework, and you've applied that. Very good. Okay, so I think, look, like I say, I think it'll be fun. It'll be nice to look at your CV together and to discuss it and then to practice using that as your script for the interview. So I think that's what we'll do next week, not next year.
Next week.
Next week, yes.
Okay.
It's been a very long week. It felt like a year to me.
Already.
It's been a very long week. Okay. So what to search for? You've obviously searched then, you've looked for the company culture, their missions, their value. Like you say, if you've figured out how to impress them on YouTube, then you should be sorted. So you should have covered all of this, the inside scoop, the clients, the services, the job knowledge, everything that you'll need to apply for, etc. Okay, so this is then just to analyze that job description, which you say you've definitely already done. So I'm just going to go through this stuff. I'll put it up on our classroom as well, so you can browse through it in your own time as well. But a lot of this, like I say, you've already covered it, so it's just nice to be aware of it.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so this one's quite interesting. So preparing information and choosing a template. So you say you want to keep it professional and use like quite a clean layout, which I think is a very good thing considering the type of job you're in. You obviously want to highlight all the information that's important about you. So your courses, any education that you have, and usually it goes from your highest qualification to your lowest qualification, because you want to highlight the most important one. So anything like that, as well as your work experience. And again, usually it goes from the most recent to your older work experience. So any jobs before the previous one you had, as well as any additional experience that you feel you had. Okay.
Mhm.
Also comparing the job description to any filter information. So again, that filter information would be like, what are they actually looking for? How to tailor it, not just to your experience, but to what they want from you. So
Mhm.
you have
Yeah, yeah.
to, you again have to market yourself and basically be like, I'm amazing. Look at me. I have everything
Yeah,
that you need. So doing all of that. Okay. And like you
yeah,
said,
yeah.
choosing a template based on the job or company. Like you said, Word will probably be best for yours. So it looks professional and neat, and you don't need it to be all fancy and shiny and all sorts of other things, not too colorful or complex in your case.
Mhm. Yeah. Okay.
Okay. And then just a couple of things to make sure that you sort of not just these are things to ask both in the interview as well as actually in should cover in your actual CV itself. So obviously the company's name, Google, what type of working industry they are in, the type of company, is it a multinational? Google is definitely not a startup anymore. So it's a much bigger
Mhm.
company. The company culture. How do you think Google's company culture affects you in your industry? Which is quite an interesting one, because I know Google's they're known for being very fun and very liberal. And so how do you think that
Mhm.
meets your industry, which is IT, which is quite professional and quite, yeah, a bit more rigid?
I think, yeah, Google culture. Yeah, actually, I don't know much about their culture because I am not the person inside. But I saw on TV, also saw on the internet. Yeah, I see
Yes,
the dynamic environment, and also, yeah, so freestyle, so creative.
yes,
Google,
definitely.
yeah, and maybe, yeah, in the IT field, I think that make people more creative, more innovative, more, yeah, create something new, new, and yeah, it's
Definitely.
help your brain also, yeah, is maybe creatively thinking.
Okay, definitely. So I think, yeah, to bring those two, because Google being very, very creative, and then the IT department obviously having more rigid structure, I think to be able to mold those two together will be an important way to
Mhm.
show that you are sort of embracing the company, the corporate culture, their culture, as well as obviously being able to do your job. So that's
Yeah,
the
yeah,
most important thing. So you need to sort of play on both those sides. Keep in
yeah,
mind, IT, yes, it can be very rigid, or very structured, or however you want to put it, but it's also, you are creative problem solving. You are problem solving all day long. So to come up with
yeah,
those solutions is also creative,
yeah,
just in its own
yeah,
way. Okay, you have to think of new ways to do things. Okay, then yeah, this kind of stuff, like you said, you've covered most of this, the position, the knowledge, skill, the experience, values, the responsibilities, and then obviously salary range is important too for you to approach in when you're actually negotiating in the interview.
Mhm.
Okay, so like I said, next week we'll look at a little bit of the CV writing. So please do bring your CV or share your CV with me in the Google Classroom or even on the WhatsApp group, and then we can discuss it next week. And that is, we
Yeah,
have 2 minutes left in our time. It's gone by very quickly.
yeah, yeah,
So what I will do is I'll upload this as well as our the other slideshow that we did. But in the last 2 minutes
yeah.
or last minutes, I actually just wanted to ask you, what did you think of the class? Did you enjoy it? Did you find it useful? Is there anything different you want to do next week?
Yeah, it's very useful, and yeah, your voice, and also your, yeah, the storytelling, also, yeah, how you can drive the conversation is so interesting, and I
Okay, I'm
really
glad.
like your teaching way, and
Okay, I'm
yeah,
very
thank you very
glad.
much.
You're very welcome. Again, remember, you're my boss. I'm doing the
Yeah,
job for you. So you
no,
must tell
no,
me if you must tell me if I must do something differently, or if you'd prefer us to, if you're like, oh, this is so boring, stop.
no
Okay.
way. And
Okay. But we'll do
you
lots
are
of
my,
speaking and listening exercises
yeah.
too.
Yeah. I got it. You're my mentor, and also, yeah, I respect you.
Thank you. I
I hope
appreciate
you
that.
taught me a
Thank
lot.
you.
And yeah.
Definitely. Look, you're starting at a level where your English is actually, I can't believe you speak so many languages. It's incredible. So you'll be absolutely fine. You're clearly very intelligent and you're willing to work and willing to learn. So you'll be fine. So
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to our next lesson together, and I'll prepare
Yeah.
something lovely for us again. And like I say, I have uploaded that book, but I will upload that book. Don't worry to go through it. We will go through it together with the relevant stuff. It is not homework for you.
Yeah,
The only
yeah,
thing that I want is for you to get your CV, and so we can discuss your CV next week.
Yeah.
Okay.
I got it.
And that is it. That's our time for today. I know it's very late
Yeah.
there by you already, so you must be exhausted.
No. It's okay.
Okay.
Thank
Okay,
you
well,
very
that's
much.
it for
Thank you
today.
for today.
You're very
Oh,
welcome. Have a lovely weekend.
yeah. You too. Have a lovely
Thank
weekend.
you.
Anyway, what time is your local time?
My local time, it's now 4:30 in the afternoon.
4:30 afternoon.
Yeah, I think
Oh,
you are 5 hours ahead, eh? It's 9:30 now
yeah.
by you.
9.
By you. Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you're 5 hours ahead. So for me, it's still afternoon. For you,
Yeah.
it's quite late already. Okay,
Okay.
hi. Thank you very
Okay.
much. Have a
Thank you very
lovely
much.
weekend. I'll see you next
Yeah.
time.
Yeah. Have a good night.
You
Good
too.
evening.
Yes.
Yeah.
You have a good night.
Yeah.
Okay. Bye-bye.
And bye bye. Yeah.